22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto shows. Green smoke, oh boy, who could it be? Maybe a huge 22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto shows. Green smoke, oh boy, who could it be? Maybe a U22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto shows.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to an impromptu Green Smoke emergency live stream here in the North End. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. Long time no see, my friend. His name is Ian Michaud. We call him
E.
Ian, I say long time no see because I think we signed off from episode 218 about 90 minutes ago. So for those of you who didn't start tuning into that episode yet, as soon as we're done with the live stream here, you can go pick that right up. You can, listen to us talk for 5 or 6 minutes about how we're not going to get anybody before the deadline, and we're okay with that. And here you go, deadline deal. Robert Taylor acquired by Austin FC. We'll talk about all of that. E, how you feeling?
Oh, even more excited now. I said I was going to withhold judgment and keep being patient until I saw some more stuff happen, and then boom, not a whole lot of patience required here for Roto to get someone in. But I'm excited, man. You called me. I saw your name pop up there on the old phone, and I was like, oh boy, he's either calling to make fun of me or something good just happened.
Yeah, so I don't call you ever.
No, it's good to get the latter there.
So I see a bunch of our friends in here. Austin says first. Not quite, Austin. Not quite. That honor went to Jose tonight, but that's all right. The Trefoil in here. Good to see that. Good to see Josh, your boy. Jose said we needed another winger. It's about time. Love to see the Leslie shirt representing E. Toki in here saying Roto gives us hits after hits after hits. Shui in here. Voodoo in here. And then Guillermo advocating to make fun of you. And Profe says, yeah, but is he any good?
Oh, there he is. The old
and
wet
that's
blank.
Well, shit, man. I think I'm wondering about the same right now. Let's start from the top here, because this was less than an hour ago, I think. Like, this was within the hour that we get the post from Tom Bogert. You follow his links to Give Me Sport, where he's employed now, and he's got a deadline day blog. Get a couple Zooms here on the YouTube. Austin FC acquire Robert Taylor from Inter Miami. I want to start with the return that Miami's getting here. 700K GAM is a lot of fucking allocation money for a guy who wasn't playing. Now, we'll get into the player. If Roto's in on him, I'm in. But 700, and I think it's notable, right? We have the GAM totals right here, right in the roster sheet. So let's pull up Austin. We have less than 700K in the coffers as of March, 570K. And so I think when you flip back to Bogert's report, it doesn't specify what year. So I imagine, unless we got GAM from somewhere that we just can't think of right now, that this is either split between 25 and 26, or maybe even majority 26 GAM.
I don't know. Your guess is probably as good as mine here. But yes, that is a substantial amount of GAM for Robert Taylor here. Look, I'd imagine it's pretty difficult to get some playing time when you've got some of those players on Inter Miami that they have over there. So like you said, I'm going to echo your sentiments that if Roto likes him and he wanted him and was willing to spend a substantial amount here, that I'm going to go ahead and trust in Roto and continue to trust the cooking process as he adds to this team and keeps adding some talent to this team, man. I've seen him a couple times in Miami. Obviously not standing out. There's a lot of players on that team who you get to watch and like, oh, that's a really good player. But yeah, I'm excited for this, man. We thought nothing was going to come before this deadline, but we got it.
I mean, I remember him being like, we remember how bad Miami was for a couple years there, right? When we first entered the league, up until almost the day that Messi, touched down in MLS. Robert Taylor was one of those guys that kind of stood out on a poor team. Bogert does say right there, he's been productive when he's on the field. Yeah. Just 197 minutes so far this year across 4 appearances, 2 of them being starts. Last season, 22 starts for Miami, just over 1,600 minutes, 8 goal contributions in his 22 starts. Again, this is a backup, I believe, left winger here, which should let Hader Obrian slide right in, or at this point of the season, right after last weekend, competing with Osman on that right side. And maybe a signal now that we can run a little bit more of this 4-3-3 look. Like now Myrto, if he's going to be the left winger, like he's got a direct backup now. Playing time wise, it's probably not great for our boy CJ. Again, just thinking about the depth chart aspect of it here. We also have the salary guide too. I know Tommy Scoops was talking about his cap friendly salary. $326K guaranteed comp, but this was last September. So I'm actually not familiar with, like, did Taylor sign a new deal this year with Miami? I mean, he was a guy we had spoken about in the offseason about a potential target. So again, off the top of my head, I don't remember if that was in the free agent capacity or we were talking trade. But I do find it a little bit funny that we began our offseason thinking Fafa Pico is coming. He spurns us for Miami, and now we end up having to go down to Miami calling here at the deadline for Robert Taylor. So just kind of swapped wingers with them there. But it makes sense, right? We knew we needed at least one more winger once this roster is fully built out.
Yeah, I mean, my mind went right to Fafa and that whole situation, and obviously they play the same position, correct? They're both on primarily left wing. There's a lot of stuff swirling around Miami. We know about the KDB situation, and they're trying, I think, to make a push for that. There's obviously a lot of other names that are floating out there. So they need money, and they have a plethora of talent. So if we were able to get this guy in here, and I was excited about Fafa. I don't know why I wouldn't be too excited about this as well, because we do need that depth on the wing. And if this is a signal that we are going to be pushing more for that 4-3-3, which I think Roto might be, pushing for that. I think given how this team has looked in regard to scoring goals this season, that you want to look a bit more impressive, a bit more aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. And to get that depth is good business in my book. It does hurt CJ for sure. And as I've said, I think maybe it was 2 episodes ago, I know CJ hasn't shown up in the stat sheet this season, but the limited minutes that he has played and been in, I thought that he's been impactful in ways that helped us, secure points in games. So hurting a little bit for him, but I do think this is probably an opportunity with a team that with a team like Miami, who was looking to add probably another big name here before in this upcoming window, and they needed some GAM.
Yeah. Or in the summer for them, right? And they have KDB's discovery rights, so they're probably dancing around that at this point. So the GAM will be a big help for them, I would assume, to maneuver their roster around. Go back to July of last year. Robert Taylor signed a contract extension with Inter Miami. So that $326K number in September, I believe, would be, that actually might not be his current salary because he was already under contract in 2024. I'm not sure if you can renegotiate your salary mid-season for that current season. So we may be, having price discovery next week or the week after when we get the salary dump. That's one thing we didn't talk about on today's episode, was, in conjunction with the window closing, is that salary cap Christmas is right around the corner. So this $326K number, especially with Tommy Scoops pointing out in his tweet that he's on a friendly cap number, it may be lower than this $326K.
Okay, we'll take that. And look, man, we've had a Finnish guy every year in Austin FC, so we're going
how's
ahead
that
and getting one. Yeah,
We're
getting one and
1-1.
third time's a charm here. So let's. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Alex, a legend never dies. Yeah, look, man, I have placed all of my faith in Roto. There's all kinds of players all over the place that he has eyes on, and I trust in that process. And until I get proven otherwise, in regard to this roster construction and how this rebuild has went and how this team looks right now, and you look at the roster going forward with those 3 DPs and some of these guys that we've seen who have really emerged here, I think we're going according to plan.
Yeah, man, I agree. 34 caps for the Finnish national team, 2 international goals. Robert Taylor, this is not nobody. Like, this is quality MLS depth. And I think we're going to make a lot more use of him probably than Miami would be able to this year, like you mentioned, with Fafa kind of coming in there and taking over his role as the backup on the left.
Does he have any kind of like secondary positions that he can play that we've seen him at, or is it he's pretty much just locked in on that left side?
Well, I'm looking at, I've got the multiple screens up here. We'll go ahead and look at the transfer market page. Left, right, attacking midfield, right, with the right wing and attacking midfield being his alt positions there. Looks like Finnish and English citizenship for Taylor. I think if we go to all seasons, we can. I'm sitting here dropping my headphones, covering my mouth, talking on the live stream. I think we can see here, so 96 appearances as a left winger, 52 in the attacking midfield, 31 right midfield, 27 right winger. Feels like he can move kind of all around the attack there.
I mean, even with the emergence of Owen, one thing that we looked at, and I feel like a lot of people in the community were clamoring for, was somebody in distribution to get the ball forward to our attacking players. So if he has a bit of versatility to be able to move around the pitch a little bit, I think that's a really nice thing. You could probably slot him in a 4-4-2 as well. Yeah. And like he can be in that role as well. So, again, it's not the giant splash that we might have been anticipating, but as that waned on and we got closer to this deadline here, it started to become more of a realization that wasn't going to come through. But this is a quality depth piece, and you look at our core now and the depth that we have behind that, and I just think you got to be excited about it. I'm also all juiced up to play Houston.
I know. You guys go listen to 218 when you have time. We start with some F-bombs there, I think so. But coming back to there, so Robert Taylor was just on a senior slot as of March, so he's not coming in with any surprises in terms of like, oh, he's on a supplemental.
And he's not taking up an international?
No, not for them. Must have a green card here.
Okay.
Which again, I like that because then if he's just taking up a senior slot, now your 2 senior slots correspond to your 2 international slots for that summer window. And again, both that could be, we think we have enough TAM to bring in a TAM level guy. That could also be 2 U22s with some sizable transfer fees attached to them. We have, that does not go against the cap if they're U22 slots. There's still a lot of flexibility, even again, with just a loose estimate on the cap space that we do have. We know the roster slots, and that can tell us a lot. Yeah,
absolutely. Can we pull up our little spreadsheet there so I can take a gander? That's interesting to me. If he's not international, that's another bonus in this situation here. Okay.
So we imagine he's going to come to this senior slot. So 2 of those left. Again, 4 supplemental slots, 2 U22s, 2 internationals, as long as there's no other. I mean, I think this window is open till midnight in some time zone. Let's say East.
Okay.
So probably 11 tonight. Here you go, Tommy. Fee is $700K GAM. Taylor's budget charge for the year is $150K.
Come on.
Let's go to Tommy's. Let's bring this up here. He might not have posted it on the Blue Sky yet. So we'll head to X. Why did I say X? I've never called it that in my life.
It's a good depth piece, man. This is good, especially with this month of May coming up here. And we have maintained relatively nice health to start this season, but we know that injury bug can hit, and it can hit hard. So again, just a solid depth piece to bring in.
So I'm wondering with this wording, he says, similar to Charlotte's trade for Bill Tuiloma in previous years, budget charge being so low made the fee for the trade or the transfer go a bit higher. So I want to know is his budget charge before, like, the Miami bought it down already confuses me a little bit. Because if Robert Taylor's on 150K, then he's in the range where you can buy him down to the supplemental. It doesn't, this is not how I read that, but
yeah,
I don't think we can be for sure just based off this. And him going from what, 326K we said down to 150, pretty sizable dip for him. But maybe he just wanted to stay around even at a cheaper number, with that team.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So could you technically buy him down again and put him supplemental?
Well, so if they bought him down to get him to the 150, like to make his budget charge 150K, then you can't. His actual guaranteed comp would have to be 208K or less. Then you could buy it down because I believe the senior minimum is 104 this year.
Okay.
We have the numbers, so we don't have to guess on these. Senior minimum 104K flat. So yeah, anybody on the senior roster 208K or less is eligible to be bought down because you can buy any budget charge down to the lesser of 50% of that player's salary or 150K. So as I'm reciting rules out loud on the live stream, if they bought him down to 150K, that means that he's above that 208 because they bought him down as much as they possibly could.
Okay, I got you.
He will be a senior player in all likelihood. But again, that's very cheap depth piece there. And a one-time fee for the trade. So,
and we know that, look, we know that Roto has not liked to throw out fees like that with transfer fees and stuff like that. So again, it had to have been a target. And I haven't heard, obviously, like we were talking about maybe 2-3 episodes ago or whatever, that we hadn't saw any like leaks or heard any sort of whispers or anything along those lines of people that we might have missed out on. So it seems like this had to have been a target that we were prioritizing to get done here.
Yeah.
And we know Miami's got a lot of stuff going on, and we know that they're making a lot, they're trying to open up space. They're trying to get guys over there and everything like that. What are you woofing about?
Try 3 years of GAM for Robert Taylor. 450K this year, 250 next year, conditional 50K in 2027. He's under contract through the end of 2026 with an option for 27. So if that option's declined, that conditional 50K won't go through.
So we're still sitting on 100K GAM for this season.
Yeah, right around there. Again, if we depending on if we've applied it elsewhere or what have you. We should get, I would think, when they drop the salary tables, I would imagine they're going to give us updated roster sheets, but it's MLS. Who knows?
We'll see.
So Taylor joined Miami in 2022, 91 MLS regular season appearances for the team, 23 goal contributions. Again, was a member of the team, Shield winners last year, Leagues Cup when Messi showed up at the end of 2023. 34 matches to date for Finland, 2 goals, 3 assists to his name. He was a member of the Euro squad for Finland in the 2020 tournament. I don't think they were in the Euros last summer. I may be mistaken. But successful stints here in the club's press release. Successful stints in Finland, Sweden, and Norway earlier in his career before moving stateside. Most notably at SK Brand, where he tallied 14 goals and 16 assists in 60 games during 2020 and 21. And here you go. Senior slot on the roster, will not occupy an international slot.
I mean, how many players do we have since 2022 who accumulated 23 goal contributions?
Yeah, not many.
Is it
just
one?
Seba. Yeah.
It's just one, right?
I mean, Diego, right? Diego had a ton of assists in 22. He was I think he was 21 contributions that year.
Okay. So 2.
I think he had 2 before we traded him, I think, in 23. So might be right at that number. Either way, again, I want to check in on the chat here because I see it going crazy on our screen here. So I want to see what the people are saying. I got to scroll back a decent bit.
Get the people in here.
So we got Toki in here saying he's a great option player for sure. Derek in here. Good to see Derek. Backup winger. Maybe a 4-4-2 with Robert Taylor as that left midfielder. I think you were kind of touching on that a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Like what I'm saying, it gives us a bit more versatility. Mm-hmm. We know Nico likes to adjust to the teams we're playing, try to make some changes and stuff like that. And if he can play 4-4-2 or in the 4-3-3, we know this month of May is going to be difficult coming up here. So it just gives us a bit more flexibility.
Yeah. Profe says CJ is Brandon Vazquez's backup. Did okay subbing for him against LA Galaxy. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like every CJ appearance so far, we've had at least a little bit of praise for him at the end of these matches. Maybe he is. Again, Diego Rubio has not been healthy. So, does Rubio get the call in some of those spots instead of CJ? I don't know. But again, CJ's been fine. I just think it takes the route tree down, so to speak, of ways for CJ to get onto the pitch, right?
Yeah.
Let's
6
see,
foot.
what
Good size.
I like it, Dylan. He said, what would Taylor look like punching a swastika is the real question, though. I don't think you're up on that story. You can ask our buddy Derek here.
Okay.
We fully support the sign. Let's see. The Leslie's in here saying this was a guy that Austin FC seemed to want prior to the season, so why not now? Depth and competition makes everyone better. Agree with that.
Yep.
Leslie's, the Trefoil in here saying loves the move, especially at the deadline. Backups or starters, everyone has something to play for.
Yep.
And Derek says, how does this? We may have discussed this already when we were looking at the empty spots there. It says, how does this tie us up for summer moves? Again, I think there's still a lot of flexibility considering how built out the roster is already. Right? Because we've been missing Ilya and we've been missing Dessler for the majority of the season. Mm-hmm. So you insert Dessler back in there, you get everybody else healthy, and we may not reach that point, right? We knock on all the wood in sight, but
hopefully
there are a shitload of games over the next 5 weeks. Basically what we've done in the first 2 months of the season in terms of number of matches, we have the same number of matches between May 3rd and May 31st.
Yeah, it's going to be a gauntlet, man, and we need bodies in here. And like I said earlier, we've been relatively healthy throughout this season. Obviously, you brought up Diego and Ilya there and everything like that, but we know how long this season is. We know we've found ourselves as Austin FC fans in some pretty dire, sticky situations in regard to who we're able to put out there. But again, I like the comment about competition. That is always something that kind of falls on the wayside. You want to have guys in there competing. I think he should be chomping at the bit to get some minutes here. Obviously not getting a ton of time down there in Miami. So, I'm excited for it, man. Again, I'm all juiced up because Houston week.
Yeah. And Derek in here saying our Houston hate is near the top of our contributions to the Austin community. And look, we will take that mantle on and we will continue to push forward. Look, 3 days until we see those fuckers. Let's see. Toki says seconding what Derek just said. Jose, see, I'm trying to play catch up here, so I apologize for ignoring the chat for a few minutes here. Cam coming in here saying, "Holy shit, Robert Taylor." That's what I was telling you, E. I think we're gonna get kind of a wide variety of fan reactions to this move, which happens with almost every move. Because the 700K number that's what does jump out at you first. Again, if he's hitting the cap at 300K or less, it's just more good depth, and we can pull back up the cap hits here.
I think that's the first thing I said to you when you gave me that call there, and I was like, "Damn, 700K for him! We must have really wanted him."
Yeah, sure.
But spreading that number out, I like that. Again, it's all coming together. It's mostly together for sure.
Right.
But it's coming together even more here. We're starting to see, kind of the finishing touches on how this roster is going to shape out moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's just 2 significant spots that you still have open that you can add to this mix. And again, the financial flexibility going forward because of the way Roto has cleaned up this cap sheet over the last 18 months, adding 325-ish K or less for Robert Taylor here. Squeezes right in the middle there, and again, we'll get the updated numbers. A lot of these guys signed contract extensions this past offseason, so we don't, have the accurate numbers for what they're on this year, but this is our best estimate here.
And like you said, with the options for 2 U22s potentially and 2 international spots, those guys aren't hitting the books, man. That.
Yeah, I mean, if you can bring in 2, I've been pining for a high upside U22 attacker, right?
Yep, for sure.
Like, think upgraded big body Musa Jite, certainly upgrade over Rodney and what he did here. Those guys are out there, right? The ceiling outcome is you bring in a Dejan Joveljic for 3 or 4 years, you know.
You get David Martinez, something along those lines for sure. There's plenty of young attacking dudes out there that you can get in here and slot them in with this team.
If ownership wants to spend, they have the spaces to do it on some of these young studs that you could bring in from South America, from Europe, right?
I mean, Roto's got the keys, man. He might have Tony's fucking bank account password at this point.
I hope so.
You know what I mean? So, like, let's keep this thing rolling, man.
Voodoo saying not great stats, to be honest, but looked good in Miami before he stopped getting minutes. I think that's kind of my wide view assessment too. Somebody who certainly didn't watch a ton of Miami before Barcelona showed up there. And Logan, you got to tell us, brother.
Yeah,
is this guy good? I don't. In terms of the wide variety of reactions, I did talk with Logan in some DMs before we went live. Logan not as happy, I don't think. Okay. So that's why I would love to hear some more explanation there from him. I mean, Derek said listening in from the shower. That's a new one. But look, the North End is for everyone, everywhere. Okay.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
Jose said CJ more like for like with Brandon Vazquez, Rubio different profile. Say better with a strike partner. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Again, I don't know for sure because Diego has been out for a couple weeks now.
I mean, I totally agree with that. You can put that, Diego more of a false 9 kind of role, whereas you get CJ up there to be swapped for BV. I'm on board with that for sure. I mean, again, 23 goal contributions since 2022, right? We've had 2 guys do that since 2022. All right, like this is a good piece.
Solid, especially backup winger depth.
Yes.
And if he's as versatile as some of these sites, again, those are very undetailed in terms of you would get a better description from some like diehard Miami fans. You would get a much better scout on Robert Taylor if we could do that. But
there's a lot of those fans now. I don't know if they're diehard, but there's plenty of those fans.
Revisionism. I was just mad I asked you a dumb game question. Oh, okay. I got you. I was scrambling to set up the stream, Logan. I think it's just because I pointed out that it didn't say 2025 GAM on the initial report there. So, and now we got the breakdown. There's a clean and dry now, boys. No worries.
There we go.
That's good. I'm getting the play-by-play, baby. I see Logan says, does Robert Taylor do inline cutbacks? And now LDR is leaking into the stream. So, let's see. As long as he doesn't take Kolmanich minutes. All right, we're off the rails here.
This Kolmanich, the Kolmanich army
There's Kolmanich love right now, dude.
Every day, man. It's wonderful to see. I didn't know there was such a large contingency of these folks just clamoring for Zani.
Must be the haircut. I don't know. Well, shoot, man. I mean, we went about a half hour here. I got another podcast appearance here at 7:30, so I think we need to shut it down here. Nice little supplement to episode 218 here, though. So anything else for you, man, before we shut it down?
No, I too have to get back to work. I just won an award at work, so now I got to actually, follow it up. I don't know. It could have been a random
biggest
drawing.
Butt chugger?
Yeah, it could have been biggest Houston hater. I could have got that.
Yeah,
and
that's
like that.
Yeah.
Spo. I also have to get back to work, but this is great. I'm excited. Let's do this thing on Saturday, boys and girls.
Yeah, absolutely. So we appreciate all of you tuning in, whether you caught us live on YouTube or you're watching the replay or listening to the replay that's uploaded to the audio feeds. You can go check out episode 218. Got the full Houston preview, FCTO preview. They're also taking on Dynados this weekend, little academy update. We brag about being first in the best ball standings, all that good nonsense at the end. So I'll do it for us here tonight on our Wednesday. Robert Taylor, now a member of Austin FC. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. We'll see you out there. Again, Los Verdes watch party Saturday out there at the Brutorium, throwing some axes. And we'll see everybody back here on Sunday for our next regularly scheduled episode of the North End Podcast. Until then, he's E, and I'm Zach. Famos Austin FC, everybody. Fuck Houston.
Green smoke, oh boy, who could it be? Maybe you 22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto shows. Green smoke, oh boy, who could it be? Maybe you 22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto shows. Green smoke. Oh boy, who could it be? Maybe a U22 or a new DP. The fans await, the excitement grows. Can't wait to see who Roto chose.